You doodle on the corner of a page while you're stuck on a call. A spiral, a few crossed lines, a tiny stick figure with no name. You don't remember deciding to draw it, your hand just moved on its own. But the real reason you do that is far stranger than boredom. It starts in a cave on the coast of South Africa 73,000 years ago. Someone picked up a soft red stone called ochre. They ground it down, mixed it with fat, and pressed it against a flat rock. 6 straight lines, 3 more crossing them into a diamond grid. No animal, no hunt, no food, just a pattern. Archaeologist Christopher Henshelwood found that engraved rock in Blombos Cave in 2002, and it broke the timeline almost everyone believed in. Art wasn't supposed to exist yet. Not for another 30,000 years according to the old models. So why did someone in that cave decide to make a mark that served no survival purpose at all? The same cave held something else just as strange. Dozens of small sea snail shells, each one deliberately pierced through the center. The holes weren't random damage. They were carved in the exact spot needed to string the shells onto a cord. Someone wore these. Someone chose them, drilled them, and hung them around their neck or wrist for no reason a hungry, cold, hunted animal should ever bother with. Here's the strange part. Making that mark did nothing for that person's next meal. It didn't build a fire, it didn't kill a predator, it didn't keep them warm. By every rule of survival, it was a complete waste of time and energy. And yet the impulse didn't fade, it spread. Tens of thousands of years later, hands began appearing on cave walls across Europe. Someone presses their palm flat against the stone. Someone else blows red pigment through a hollow bone around it. A perfect outline is left behind, frozen there for tens of thousands of years. For a long time, researchers assumed these belonged to hunters, most likely men, marking their kills like a signature on a trophy. Then, anthropologist Dean Snow actually measured the hand stencils themselves. He compared finger length and hand proportions across dozens of caves in France and Spain. Most of the hands his data showed belonged to women. The story everyone had confidently told about who made this art turned out to be almost completely backward. So what was actually happening in these caves? Not hunting logs, not trophies, something closer to a signature. Proof that someone specific stood in that exact spot on that exact day and wanted the world to know it. That's the piece most people miss about the birth of art. It isn't decoration, it's identity. Anthropologist Ellen Dissanayake has spent decades studying why humans make things beautiful when beauty offers no obvious survival benefit at all. Her theory has a simple name: making special. Humans, she argues, are the only species that takes an ordinary object and elevates it, through color, pattern, or ritual, into something set apart from everyday life. A red mark on stone, a shell strung on a cord, a grid scratched into rock. None of it feeds you, none of it shelters you, but all of it says something no other animal on earth has ever said. I was here, and this mattered. That single act, separating the special from the ordinary, required something no earlier human ancestor had: a brain capable of symbolic thought. The ability to let one small thing stand in for something much bigger. A red line stands for a boundary. A grid stands for an idea. A handprint stands for a person who is no longer there to speak for themselves. Have you ever wondered why that leap took so long to happen? Once that ability existed, it never switched off. It became the foundation for everything that followed. Language, religion, mathematics, storytelling. Every symbol you've ever used, from a wedding ring to a stop sign to the letters forming these very words, traces back to that same cognitive leap made in a cave by firelight. A species that learned to let one thing mean another was a species that could suddenly build worlds out of thin air. Think about how strange that really is. Every other species on this planet communicates only about what's right in front of it. A warning call means danger, right now, over there, nothing more. But a symbol can carry meaning across time, across distance, even across death. A handprint on a wall can speak to someone who wasn't born for another 70,000 years. That's not decoration. That's a kind of time travel no other animal has ever managed. So think again about that spiral in the margin of your notebook. It isn't idle. It isn't empty. It's the same impulse that moved a hand across a cave wall 73,000 years ago. The need to take something ordinary and mark it as yours. You're not filling silence when you doodle. You're doing the oldest human thing there is, leaving proof that you were here.